What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I just got done, I guess last week, week and a half ago. I fished a bass open on Smith Lake. In those tournaments and in Costa event, those type of events, you can practice as much as you want. You can be out there 2 weeks, you can be out there 3 weeks, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you got the time and the money, or if you got the time and you feel like you need to be out there, you can practice. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is anglers practicing too much. And you may say, well, Jordan, if you've never been to a lake, then you could practice maybe a little bit more. But I personally feel like it hurts a lot of these guys in the tournament when you practice for 6, 7, 8 days prior to the event, because a lot of things are going to change. Water levels change, you're going to have water temps change, you're going to have pressure, the fishing pressure over a course of time. And I always try to preach this. I don't preach it, but I try to tell younger anglers or people that are trying to, I don't know, if they're trying to do it for full time. We get, in the Bass Pro Tour, we get 2 days of practice. In the Elite Series, you get 3 days practice. In the FLW Tour tournaments, you get two days of practice. So you don't have much time, and those time constraints, that's what I feel like. I think guys that make the elites, I could name some names that maybe fish the opens and they practiced a lot in the opens, and they get to elites and they realize, then they're like, 3 days is enough. I mean, everybody of course gets 3 days, and in the opens you feel like, or the FLW Costas, you feel like there's guys out working you. If you start 6 days prior to the event and you have a phenomenal day, and you got there and you figure them out, you're dialed in, well, you're going to just not go back to that stuff probably. If you're a smart angler, you're not going to go to that stuff. Well, in the back of your mind, you're counting on that. You're like, well, okay, I got something going. Well, you go maybe check it the last day of practice, and all of a sudden you don't get a bite. There could have been 20, 30 anglers go through there. They probably moved by then. They're not going to stick around. So it changes constantly. And normally what I go off of is that last day of practice or the prior day. So really the moral of the story is, I feel like when you have unlimited practice, you feel like in the back of your mind that, hey, these guys are going to outwork me. They're going to but it's kind of opposite. I think that you don't get outworked, you just fish the current conditions of the lake, and you're not always going to catch them either. That's another thing. If not every tournament's going to suit your style. You're not going to show up to every tournament and just blast them, and a couple guys do, but overall that's not going to happen. So you may have a real tough tournament, and you go to the next one, and it fits your style, or you just find the fish and you find them in the tournament, you figure out what you need to do, and it works out. So for anybody that's maybe guys that are fishing, I feel like there's so many great anglers now. There's no secrets, but I think it's those decisions on the water and during game time, and you're not going to learn the lake in 6 days. It takes 6 years of living on a place to even get an idea this is what I need to do. I would say probably 98, 99% of the time, I'm fishing new water when I show up. And what I mean by that is I go into a tournament, I'm like, okay, I got a game plan kind of, or even if I really know a lake, which not often we have a tournament, but Smith Lake's fresh on my mind, and I really don't know it, but I kind of know, the deal and what's not the deal, and I know how to get around the lake. But even Smith, I'm fishing new water that I didn't fish in practice, or I had never fished in my life. And I feel like every tournament you're always doing that, or at least I am. You go up, let's say a big lake like Table Rock, you're going to practice a lot. Well, you go up one arm, you get some bites, and you go up way up another arm, and you go down to the dam, and you go all over the place, and you got stuff going all over. Well, then come tournament time, you're just super confused in it. You may have some really good stuff, but you don't know where to go. And that's going to happen anyways, but you'll get super spread out. You're going to spend three hours of your day running around, and that matters a lot too. You got to keep a bait wet. So those are some things to think about though. And I'd like to hear y'all's feedback on this, but that's something I've noticed over time. I remember the first professional event I fished was at Toho. It was in 2014, I believe. I practiced maybe 6 or 7 days. Probably get there a week early. And like the second day I'm there, we blast them. Well, we had a little front come through and never got a bite in any of those areas. We were catching on rattle bait, and it was like just crazy good. And I was expecting that come tournament time. Well, I was young and inexperienced and didn't have really a backup plan, and didn't want to go down to Kissimmee in practice because I already had found the juice up there on Toho. But that all changed. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, wait, I'm gonna, that's where I'm gonna fish. I already had my mind made up that day. I'm gonna fish here in the tournament. Well, it just, the conditions changed, and I was dependent on that, and I tanked. I probably finished 140th, 150th. So fishing the current conditions, you're not always going to catch them, but I feel like in the long run, it helps you out. You don't stay as spun out, and it is hard. It's hard not to want to practice and want to put in as much time as everybody else, but I think overall, the best, 4 days is is a lot. You can fish one end of the lake for 2 days. You can fish one end of the other lake for day and a half, 2 days. And if you don't find them and you don't figure them out, you scrap all that and you do something different than tournament. That's my opinion. Y'all give me some feedback on that. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. Till next time.